Why is this important? I've always believed, and having a business has really made it clear to me, that the clearer our intention, the clearer our outcome. So if we want to be a just and sustainable business, we need to say that. We need to put that on paper. And we need to make it to aim bright, to aim clear, to aim bold. It's our North Star, and so it keeps people on track. Not only, but especially when things are going hard, when things are going badly. So employees will show up for a job, sure, it's a paycheck, but they'll sacrifice for a vision. And customers will pay for a product or service, but they'll promote a vision. And we were really lucky because we were still learning bread. We'd never been bakers before. We'd never been business owners. And what we discovered, to our great delight, is that customers will actually be willing to be much more forgiving of mistakes in the interest of a vision. Also, the vision is actually what attracted capital for us. So we weren't business owners, we weren't bakers, we had to figure out what we were doing, and we found out about a woman who was perfect for us. She was a business consultant that had been a marketing executive for Deloitte & Touche, and she now was a Buddhist nun. Perfect. She even taught a class in Ann Arbor called Building a Business the Buddhist Way. And it was a 10-week class. And as I look back on it now, I mean, we didn't know good or bad, but I mean, it was really, really great because she really just broke it down into these 10 stages. And at the end of it, we were all expected to have a business plan. There was a contest, and we won the contest. So we won our first $2,500 of startup capital, in large part because of the vision. And then the ball started rolling. Because then another Buddhist nun, whose mom had just passed and who'd left her a chunk of money that she and her daughter were going to buy a piano for her daughter, her and her daughter decided they were not going to buy a piano, but they were going to loan the money to us to buy our first oven. So we did, I just want to say, name the oven after Nana. So Nana is the oven that's in the front of the bakery still to this day. But our vision is also what allowed us to extend our community out to our friends and family. So I kind of need to explain here. The winter before, or the year and a half before we opened the bakery, I think Anna and I made $6,000 between the two of us in income. So we weren't really raking in the cash. I mean, we had a great life. We were living up in Traverse City for a little bit at a great place called the Neatuana Inn, living in exchange for work. And so our quality of life was very high. Our income was very low. But we wrote a letter to our friends and family, inspired by an example in the East Coast in the Berkshire Mountains called Delhi Dollars. We wrote a note to 250 of our friends and family and colleagues and cohorts and other crazy people, and said, we have this great idea. We're going to start an organic bread bakery in the middle of the Cass Corridor, and it's going to have 3 bottom lines. And we're going to invite you to do this with us, and we're going to invite you to send us between $5 and $500. And we'll send you bread dough, these little dollars, that you can then redeem in combination with some cash when you come to the bakery. Within 2 weeks, we had $6,500 from about 50 friends and family. And then another group of women found out about us who were quietly loaning some small loans to women business owners, and we got another $10,000. So all this startup capital happened because we projected a bold vision. But the vision is what attracted people, because suddenly we're more than a business. At our grand opening, and you gotta remember in 1997, there was almost no retail in Detroit. So people are going back and forth. Thousands of people a day, tens of thousands of people a day are going back and forth to the hospital, to the DIA, to Wayne State, and not stopping to buy anything. And 700 people show up to our grand opening. We have dozens of volunteers. The neighborhood becomes our customers. I remember the CEO of DMC was this really, really sharp woman who drove a Porsche and wore just outrageously stylish clothes. And she pulls up one minute, and the next minute Larry, the homeless guy who's lived outside our bakery since before we were there and is there to this day, they walked in the door right together, and I thought, right on. So 700 people showed up because of our vision. The other thing is we got amazing press because of our vision. Now, when we opened up was when the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News were on strike. And we knew because of our vision we couldn't cross the picket line. We just weren't going to do it. And people said, how can you open a business without the major newspapers? And we're like, we have no idea. We'll see what happens. What happened? We got front page coverage in the Detroit Metro Times, the alternative weekly paper, and we got front page coverage in the Sunday Journal, which was the strikers' weekly newspaper. Now, frankly, those front page stories were much more powerful than a story buried in the business section of the Free Press or News, because that was our demographic. Those people who encompass that vision, that would be the people who we would talk to. My favorite marketing book, I don't know if anyone has ever heard of him. Does anyone here ever heard of Seth Godin? Yeah, so The Purple Cow? Yeah, it's like my Bible, which is good because it's like that thick. I like a small Bible. And what he says, and it doesn't sound that revolutionary now because with the internet it kind of sounds second nature, but it's still very, very important. What he says is that what he said 15 years ago is that small businesses can't compete with large businesses based on your visual brand. So we cannot compete with Target's big red circles. We cannot compete with McDonald's golden arches, and we shouldn't try. We shouldn't even pay for that kind of advertising. How we compete is by doing something so exceptional that people remember it and want to talk about it. So why he calls it the purple cow is, imagine you're driving down a country road, you see hundreds of cows, you're like cow, 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 and then all of a sudden you look and whoa, there's a purple cow. And so then you get on your phone, you're like, whoa, you should see this purple cow. And then the other person calls and says, there's this purple cow. So that becomes your viral base. Those become the people who sneeze out the information about you. So now people rely on Facebook, and while I think that's great, there is no replacement for old-fashioned viral marketing, where people say to me, to my face, this is so great, you gotta check it out. And as I look back, I realize our purple cow was our vision. It was something different. It made us exceptional.